Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm going to show you how to diagnose and repair a Samsung dryer which is running but is not heating. So let's get into it. All right, so this is the dryer we're working on today. It's a Samsung front load style. It looks like it is a 2012 model. We're going to go ahead and turn it on. It's got a little bit of a rattle, and also I've already checked, but we're getting no heat at all back here. So it's right at like room temperature. It's blowing out 68 degrees. So let me show you guys what to check. First things first, you always want to check your breaker box, make sure it's not tripped. I got a few videos going into more detail on that. I can link them below. And also the second thing you want to check first, make sure you have proper power coming to the unit. I do have a video showing how to do that as well, so it'll be linked down below. But let's jump straight into this and find out what this dryer is not heating. So as usual, we're just gonna need a multimeter. You can get a Harbor Freight, Amazon, Lowe's. You can get some very cheap. You don't need nothing crazy expensive. Great thing about Samsungs, almost every screw on the machine is a Phillips head. So get you a Phillips head screwdriver or get you a drill. That's the best thing to use. Now we're gonna go ahead and get into it. You're gonna always unplug your machine first. You definitely don't want to get any electrical shock or anything crazy while you're working on the machine. So always unplug it first. All right, we got this dryer unplugged. We're gonna go ahead and remove this top panel first. Two Phillips head screws in the back, 1 and 2. Once removed, we're gonna slide this top panel off. We're gonna set that to the side. Now we're going to take off this top panel and then this front. So the next thing we're going to remove is this control panel here. You usually just lift up on that. Sometimes it'll come off. Sometimes you got to get a flathead. Then we're going to disconnect this wire connected to the control panel. Once that's disconnected, we're going to take that off and set it to the side. Next, we're going to go ahead and remove this front door. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 screws here, and then 2 screws down here by the lint trap. So I'm going to remove those. Now we've removed the 4 screws up top and the 2 by the lint trap. So this should just pull back, up and back. It might be in that little clip there. Then you're gonna be careful because this is a little sharp here and here. And you're gonna disconnect this door switch. Then we're just gonna lift up on this, move it and set it over to the side. Next thing we're gonna do is remove this top piece here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Looks like we're missing one there. So it should be 7 or 8 screws, but we're missing a few on this model. So I'm gonna take this piece off. Don't make the mistake of removing this plastic piece. It's not necessary. So once you have all these screws removed on each side, you're gonna pick up on this and we're gonna move that and set it to the side. Next, we're going to get these wires out of the way. This goes to the light bulb here. We're gonna set these over and then we're gonna take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Phillips head screws so we can take this piece off. Once we remove those 5 screws, we're gonna disconnect this sensor here. Then we're gonna pick up on this. We're gonna pull that right out and then set it to the side. Now we're gonna reach in and disconnect the belt. The way this, it's kind of hard to see, so I'll just kind of explain it. We're gonna put one arm in this side, one arm under here. I'm gonna push the belt to the left until it's loose. Then I'm gonna pull the belt off of the pulley and off of the motor, and then we'll be able to take the drum out. Once you get the belt loose, the best way to do this, pick up on it like this, lift up, and then we're gonna pull that right out. All right, and we're gonna go ahead and vacuum this machine shortly because it has been in use for a little bit. I'm just gonna give you a little visual on the belt. So you're gonna put the rib side down on top of the motor. You're gonna put the smooth side around the pulley, and then when the drum is in here, pull up on this, and the belt's gonna go around the drum. And then when you loosen it, like I was just saying before, you're gonna pull this over even further and then remove the belt from the pulley and from this. And that's how you remove the drum. It's always best while you have it open to go ahead and clean out your machine, and that, you know, reduces the risk of a fire or something crazy to happen in the future. So next we're gonna grab the multimeter and we're gonna put it on this setting here to check for continuity. Looks like a Wi-Fi symbol. And then we're going to simply touch one of each side to the element as well as to the fuse to see which one is not working correctly. So what you're going to do, you're going to touch one here and one here. And if you don't get a beep, that's going to be your issue. So I'm also going to check the fuse. So this is the rare case where actually the fuse and the element have seemed to blown. So we're going to go ahead and replace that element and that fuse. So this is our new Samsung heating element. You can buy the full box for them. There's a few different ways you can buy them. This way right here is the cheapest way to buy it. Then we're going to disassemble the box and then put this one in. I believe this is only about $20 if you get it on Amazon. And I've seen them last for years just with this cheap $20 model. So let me show you what it'd be like. Since this is a good element, let me show you how that tests on the meter. So we're going to touch one to this side and one to this side. And when that beeps, that's how you know it's good. So this is a good brand new element, and I'm going to show you how to put that in. All right, now we have the dryer wide open. This is the heating element, is right in here. So what we're going to do is remove a few of these things. I already took the fuse. There's 2 screws going there, Phillips heads. Then you're going to pull that fuse off. We're going to take the top part of this cabinet off so we can replace the element that's inside. So let me show you how to do that. So if I wasn't replacing the fuse, I would have just taken the top screw out, just like on this here. So we're going to remove that. Then I'm just going to kind of pull this over a little bit. And then we're going to disconnect these 2 wires. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove all these screws on the sides so we can pull this top piece out. All right, once we've removed the screws all around this side, sometimes these tabs are folded in, but it looks like this may have been replaced previously, but I'm not quite sure. So what we're gonna do, this is gonna come right up, and then that reveals the element. So this is the main reason the element can burn up. You can see lint, and it looks like some type of pet hair is getting down in the element. That can also cause a fire. Look, some of this kind of burned up, and that can cause the element to break. And when that element breaks, that's usually the main issue. So this one is in pretty rough shape. So what we're gonna do is go ahead and put a brand new element, and then we're gonna clean all this lint and hair out of this so this dryer can be safely running again. All right, so what we have to do to get the element out, you're gonna get some needle nose pliers or something to that degree, and you're gonna have to bend these little tabs. I'm gonna show you a little closer. Bend those tabs there so you can pull these back and out this way. Let's see if we got it bent back far enough. So not quite. There we go, we got the first tab out. Now we're gonna repeat the process with the bottom. All right, now we're getting the second tab, and we're gonna go ahead and remove that old element. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab the vacuum and get all this lint and everything nice and vacuumed and cleaned. Now that we're to this point, we're gonna go ahead and grab our new element, and we're gonna line it up with these holes on top of this housing here, just like this. And then I'm gonna show you how to feed these back through here, and that's where you connect your wires. So I'm gonna do that real quick and then show you what that looks like. All right, so it's gonna look something like this. You're gonna run these tabs back through, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna bend these corners so it can't slide back through. So you can get some needle nose pliers or something like these, and they're just gonna grab these corner little tabs, and we're just gonna bend them so that basically stops it from sliding back through. All right, so now we've done that on the top and the bottom tab, so these can't go back through. And then that's where our wires will connect to. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna put our top housing piece back on, line these holes up, and put it all back together. All right, we got the top piece back on. The biggest thing you wanna do is when you put this on, make sure none of your wires or your element, are touching any part of the metal and grounding out.
that can cause issues and you'll have to take it all back apart and fix it. So make sure none of this is touching any other metal. Now we're going to go ahead and reconnect our wires here to the element. Make sure they're nice and snug. Make sure they don't slip on and off. It is good to crimp them down if needed. And then we're gonna go ahead and replace this fuse and then put that back. So we got our replacement fuse put in place, 2 Phillips head screws. Now we're gonna go ahead and connect these 2 wires. Now we have a brand new element and a brand new fuse. And now we're almost ready to get it put back together. Make sure we put our screw back here. Now it's just ready to be put back together. All right, now we got the drum put back in place. Remember when you're putting the belt on, you slide the back of the belt around the pulley, and then you slide the rib side of the belt around the motor. So that's a little trick. You're gonna push the pulley to the left, and then when you do that, just make sure it's like that because you don't want your belt to slip. Now we're putting this piece back on. I like to put the top 2 on first. And now the bottom are still not connected. So a little trick, you can push in this while you turn the drum and it's gonna make it connect to this piece a little easier. You watch here, see it just popped in, and then we're simply gonna lift up on each side so we can get the bottom parts in. Now we're gonna put those 4 screws on each corner and then the 5th screw at the bottom back in next. Now we have our 4 screws put back in, 1, 2, 3, 4, then the 5th screw down at the bottom. Now we're ready to put the next piece on, which is going to be this little metal piece here that goes across the top. Before we do that, let's go ahead and put our wires in place. I've plenty of times left the door switch out and then had to take it back apart just because I forgot. So we're gonna loop our wires through these little loops here and we're gonna plug our light bulb back in. All right, we got our wires put back in place through these little loops. Got our light bulb plugged in. This is gonna go to our control board. This is to our door, so we'll just leave those 2 hanging there. And now we're ready for that next piece. All right, now we got this piece on. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws. Now we're gonna go ahead and put the door back on the front. Now we're ready to put the door on. You got 3 tabs at the bottom, 3 slots on the door, if you can see there. So we're just gonna pick that up, line up the bottom first, then pick it up. Then we're gonna reconnect our door switch here. Should be nice and easy. And then we're going to make sure this slides right over top. Then we're gonna put our 4 screws in here and then 2 screws back by the lint trap. Now we got all those screws put in, 4 up top, 2 down by the lint trap here. Now we're gonna go ahead and grab our control panel and get that put back on. You're gonna see these tabs on the control panel like this. You're just gonna set it in place first. Should just kind of slide into place. And then you're gonna feed that wire through from earlier. And then we're gonna reconnect. Now that that's reconnected, just gonna put this down and just kind of pop it into place on each side. Now we're gonna put the top back on. Now we're going to put the 2 Phillips head screws back in the back. 1 here and 1 All right, now we plugged in the machine. We're gonna turn it on. Always test it for heat and time dry. Don't put it on a sensor dry mode. If there's any eco mode, make sure you turn that off. Then we're gonna start the machine. You can always go to the back of the machine and put your hand down and feel if it's blowing warm air. I do like to hit it with a thermometer. If we can see the temperature slightly increasing, we'll know that that dryer is starting to heat up. So there you go. We have a fixed dryer that needed a heating element and a fuse, and that's how you replace everything. Thank you guys for watching. If you have any questions at all, leave them down below. Hopefully this fixed your Samsung dryer. If you just put a little time, a little effort in, it is worth the fix. Sometimes that element's only, like I said earlier, around $20. So it's definitely worth the repair. So if you have any questions, just let me know, and y'all have a good one.